Good morning, everyone. Welcome to my channel, Just an Investment. Today, we will speak about the company Mrs. Better Food Specialty Limited. A little introduction about the company. This company was incorporated in 1995, so it's almost 25 years old company. What business this company is in? They basically sell biscuits and bakery products across North India. So majority of their business comes from North India. They do export, but most of their business comes from North India. A little industry analysis, what expert thinks about how the bread and how the biscuit and bakery segment is spread out in India. So the total biscuit and bakery segment is for 450 billion rupees. Out of that, the 90% of the market is captured by biscuits, which is around 400 billion rupees. The breads constitute for just 11% of the overall market, that's around 50 billion rupees. The experts predict that the growth rate in this market will be a CAGR of 9% over 5 years. But the key thing to note is there is a huge competition among the large players, the regional players, as well as small scale industries across India. So just for an example, the unbranded biscuit sector has 30,000 small manufacturers, and the unbranded bread sector has around 75,000 small manufacturers. Obviously, the unbranded bread sector has a large number of small manufacturers because the shelf life of the bakery products are much lower compared to the biscuits. The offer size is for 5,500 million rupees. Out of that, the fresh issue will be for 500 million rupees, and the offer for sale is for 5,000 million rupees. How that money is being utilized? So the company says that they will use around 400 million rupees, which they will get from the fresh issue of 500 million rupees in expanding the Rajpura plants. So they are, I think they are setting up one extra line for cookies, and the rest of the money will be spent for general corporate purposes. But the key thing here to note is that the 5,000 rupees which will be generated from this IPO, so there are some of the key investors who has invested early in this company. They are selling their stake. Just a key point to note here is the company has certain outstanding litigations associated with it, and the overall value for that litigation is 101 million rupees. I found this piece very interesting in the prospectus. So last slide, just we spoke about that the offer for sale is for 5,000 million rupees, and certain shareholders are selling their stake. So these are the four companies who are selling their stake, a part of their stake, and they acquired the share at 175, 176 rupees on an average. So if the IPO price is for 270, 280, they are having a handsome gain of 100 rupees per share. What are some of the risks associated with the company? Obviously, the COVID-19 pandemic. But I personally think that COVID-19 pandemic is a blessing in disguise for them, since they are a manufacturer for essential goods. As the company mentioned in their prospectus, so they did not face any issues because of COVID-19 during lockdown, as they hold an inventory of 15 to 20 days. But that does not mean that they will not face any issues in the future also. Their retail operations was indeed impacted because certain QSR, CSD, Indian Railways were all closed. So their retail operations was obviously impacted. Certain other risk which the prospectus mentions is their inability to meet the market demand, negative publicity, depth, which is all true. As on 31st August 2020, their outstanding book value of debt was 1,200 million rupees. And one of the group companies, CAFL, has also incurred losses in financial year 2018. So they see this as a risk. Other risks are non-compliance to regulatory requirements. They may experience negative cash flows because they are investing, and because they have to invest in their manufacturing facilities, they have to repay their loan or interest payments, and they may have negative cash flows in the future, which can be a risk to the business. Speaking little bit about how much cash is generated from the operations, how much it is used in investing activities, how much it is used in financing activities. So we can see that continuously year on year, the cash generated from the operations has been increased. The company investing activities has overall been decreased from 18 to 19, and then little bit decreased from 19 to 20. That net cash from financing activities is negative in 2020. So, and overall, if we see from the cash perspective, the company holds 207 million rupees. But it's a very highly competitive market. Britannia, Parle, ITC, and Mole, they all are in biscuit segment, and certain other companies which are in the bread segment is Britannia, Modern, Bond, Kitty, and Harvest Gold. The IPO prospectus mentions that the promoter may have a conflict of interest with other businesses which they operate, and their interest is only limited to the extent of compensation which they get from the organization. And one thing which I found very interesting in their prospectus was they mentioned that in 2019 they had issues with some of their exports. So they exports biscuits to certain parts of Africa, and there was issue with getting the money or realizing the money from those customers. So they have decided that they will slowly stop exporting to countries which are not economically or politically stable. And at the next somewhere it was also mentioned that the overall price realization per kg of sales has been gradually increasing. So basically we can see that the company is shifting towards higher margin because they are getting a higher revenue per kg of sales. So in 2020, the price realization per kg of sales was 95 rupees, around 94.3 rupees, compared to in 2018, which was 81 rupees. For the data for April 1st to September 30 mentions that they have realized 101 or 101.63 rupees per kg for their products. They also manufacture third-party label products also. So like, for example, it was mentioned that Mondelez Cadbury Oreo, I think they manufacture that for Cadbury's. And 50 to 55% of the revenue is cost of material. So we can predict that the domestic revenue from biscuits is almost 40% of their total revenues. The global sales, excluding contract manufacturing, is around 65 to 70%. And the high transportation cost restricts them from selling pan India. So they have a huge amount of focus in the 11 state across North India. Uh, Other key details, so the revenue on defaults in payment by customer, it was less than 1% in last 3-4 years. The bad debt was very low. The export revenue was around 25% of the overall revenues. So what I perceive uh, after going through their entire prospectus was they are moving forward they are moving forward to sell premium products, and they are planning to get a higher margin from their products. So they have mentioned that they are moving away from volume based selling. So they want to get a higher margin on each product which they sell. They are targeting to the consumers directly. They are focusing on politically and economically more stable countries in the future. Somewhere they also mentioned that their future strategy is to expand product reach to semi-urban and urban markets, But I just think that it may not be feasible at this point in time, because at one hand they want to extract higher margin, and on the other hand they want to expand in urban areas. It may be difficult for the company at this point in time. Some of the key datas which I get from their statements, financial statements, was the revenues for 18, 19, and 20. So we can see the revenues as is being continuously increasing. The operating income for this company, operating income is decreased in 2019, but in 2020, and the forward statements which they gave. So they gave the data for April to September, I think, or April to October for 2020. And we can see a continuous improvement in their operating margin. So we can see that they are trying to extract a higher margin from the products which they are selling. So as the revenues are increases, the tax expense is also increasing. The tax rate is around 22%. And the book value of equity is 3577 million rupees. The debt, as I mentioned, was around 1244 million rupees. They have a cash holding of 172 million rupees. So if we see the return on invested capital, so we can see that they are earning around 20% from the overall capital which they have invested. The sales to capital ratio is just basically how much revenues they are generating divided by how much capital they have invested in the business. So it comes like for every 1 rupees they have invested in the business, they are able to generate a sales of around 1.8 rupees. The cost of capital I have assumed, considering the overall other companies within this businesses, for of around 10.24 percentage. The risk free rate is around for India in Indian rupees, for the currency in Indian rupees, around 4.35%. I did a small DCF analysis, and so what So basically, here what I have assumed, that in the first few years, the revenue will continuously grow at 18%, and then it will gradually decline. And then at the end of 10 years, I have assumed it will grow at the rate at which the economy is growing. So which I have assumed that 4.35%. Given that the operating margin was increasing continuously, so I have assumed that they will be able to increase their margin from 11% to 12%, and in the following years, and they will stop at 14%. The tax rate was of 22%. So on an average, the effective tax rate for companies in biscuit and bakery segment is 27%. So I've assumed that it will gradually increase as their revenue is increasing. And then I calculated the reinvestment. So I calculated EBIT into 1 minus T, how much tax they are paying. So this is the earning before interest and taxes, and then I gave the tax payments. And then the key thing which I want to focus here is, for every year I have shown a increase in revenues. For this, the company will need to invest. And here I have used that sales to capital ratio to find out how much reinvestment they need to do to expand their business every year. So basically, we can see that I've given a higher amount of reinvestment for initial years, and then it's coming back to a steady state. So this is the free cash flow to the firm. I have assumed a cost of capital of 10.24%. So the discount factor is 1 upon 1 plus 10.24%, 0.90. And this is 1 upon 1 plus 24, 10.24 to the power 2 because this is year 2. I found the present value for all these free cash flows, and then for I found the present value for this terminal cash flow. So the terminal cash flow is 2262. The cost of capital is 10.24. So the terminal value I got it from 2264 divided by 10.24 minus the risk-free rate. So the present value of terminal value is 14615. Then I discounted it by 10 years. So sum of the present value is this. The overall debt for book value of debt for this firm was 1245 million rupees. I deducted that. I added the cash which they have right now in their balance sheet. Plus, I also added the cash which they will generate through this IPO. So the total value of equity, I got 18213. I divided that with the overall number of shares, equity shares outstanding, which is 57.26 million. I got an estimated value for 318 rupees. So, what my strategy for this company will be, I'll definitely apply for this IPO. And once I get the listing gain, I'll sell it off, and then I'll wait when the market become little stabilized. And I would also like to see some of their quarterly reports or annual reports to invest long term in this company. Thank you so much everyone for watching this video. Please take your decision wisely and not on my opinion. Consult with your financial advisor before taking any decision. Thank you, and thank you so much. Please like or subscribe my video if you liked a small analysis on this company from my side. Every week I'll try to post one fundamental analysis for the companies. Let's see if I am able to make it exciting for you guys. Thank you.